I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Also want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect of Yahshua, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as you Akim out there enduring this truth across the four corners of the earth, teaching and prophesying through the spirit of Yahweh, Shem Yahushai, in truth and sincerity, and the men and women that follow, and those who might look like the other nations but are of the nation of Israel on their father's side by blood. And just doing a quick little lesson, just, you know, kind of going into, wars and rumors of wars. And, over the years, it's just been a buildup of things, even going back into history, because the thing is that, well, as you can see right here, they talking about these C-17s, which is this right here, which is like cargo planes, uh, used, they transfer tanks, armored vehicles, soldiers, supplies, what else? What else? What else? Helicopters on these things, you know. It's a lot. But yeah, just let me get into it. So this was dated Sunday, February 8th. And it says at least 112 USAF C-17 aircraft headed to the Middle East desert storm levels. So they pretty much saying, and that's where you get the wars and the rumors of wars from, even though, um, U.S. and Iran is not on the best of terms. Got to look a little bit more into it, but it seemed like, they talking about their nuclear program again. And like I said, that's just been the buildup over the years. They've been having a problem with them enriching uranium, and just constantly accusing them. More so the JOOs accusing them and saying they feel threatened and not being safe, and they would periodically attack them and everything. And it's just a build up to the Third World War, man. All right, we I just through the spirit. No, I said two woes come after. Through the spirit, I just thought of that out of the blue. Well, by the spirit, the other day, I was just like, man, this Third World War is inevitable. You can kind of see. I did a lesson a couple weeks ago, and said this is how he governs. You can kind of see how Yahweh Shemel Shai just makes certain moves, man. He's ultimate chess player. He's way ahead of us. Shit, he's thousand of years ahead of us because he already had this already written and planned out. We just seeing it in real time. All right, so this is Revelations 9 and 12. It says, one woe is past. Let me see. I'll go up a little bit, see if they got something for it. Well, first portion of this going into this chapter 9 is speaking about World War One, and you get into it, you'll start mentioning the locusts, and it seems like it's talking about certain things, but this is explaining the planes and things of the power that the power that those planes had within them, and of course, this is the early 1900s. Let me see 1 second. Yeah, having a gunner in the back and able to drop bombs or whatever. So, but you get here, Revelations 9 and 12, and it says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So it giving you three woes in total. All right, and according to history, we done already had two world wars, man. So once again, that third one is inevitable. All right. So you'll hear things like this: desert storm, like, you know, levels. So it gets you, oh, we're about to go to whoa, it's gonna happen, But that's why I wanted to get into this, is because it's just still, at the end of the day, it's the Lord setting up His chess pieces. You know, He just setting up His chess pieces. He actually enjoys the game. All right, he already know what moves you're gonna make, but He enjoys playing the game. He enjoys allowing Esau to feel as if he's gonna have a chance to win, which is something I want to get. I gotta find it. It's in one of these. It's probably not that. Yeah, I'm gonna look for it in a minute. Maybe it's over here. Which tanks? Yep, it's gonna be in one of these, Lord willing. All right, so it says an eye-opening and massive number of C-17 Globemaster military transport and cargo planes have been observed heading to Europe and the Middle East. And what some monitors have forewarned looks like the build-up to major war in Iran, and that's what it is. It's not like, okay, they going over there, it's about to happen. Nah, it's you know uh it's gonna be a build-up, man. Even as they mentioned Desert Storm, I was looking into it. They was getting their defenses ready, and they didn't uh they didn't do anything until like a month later, or maybe it was like 2 or 3 months. But nonetheless, it's once again, it's the Lord just setting up His chess pieces. It says one regional watcher uh, and pundit commented in response: 112 C-17s are in or on their way to the Middle East. Guys, that's a lot. Like Desert Storm, a lot. Stay tuned, because, well, it'll explain it later down here. It says a total of 112 U.S. Air Force C-17s have now either arrived or are en route to the Middle East, with a further 17 to 18 in progress flights. A number of Royal Air Force logistics flights from RAF, RAF Marham to RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, and movement on the U.S. Air Force coronets, the source said. C-17s are massive and can deliver huge amounts of equipment or large numbers of troops in a single go. The U.S. military lists some of the following key capabilities: a payload capacity of over 170,000 pounds, ability to operate on short, austere runways as small as 3,500 feet, intercontinental range with in-flight refueling, extended reach even further, rapid load and unload design to keep missions moving under pressure. Because you'll see, they'll kind of just drop some of these out of the dang, I thought it was, oh yeah. Yeah, here it go. Cause you can kind of see, look at that loading this big ass tank up on there. Or unloading it, one of the two. You know, dropping shit out the planes. I think it was this video right here. The whole Humvee, you know, all the soldiers they got on there. Hey, this is his blessing, man. All his little toys, all Esau little toys, man. It's from his swords to his armored vehicles to his tanks. He's just a mastermind of uh, weapons, through the spirit. It's meant like that. That's a whole chess piece in itself. All right. It says Iran and the U.S. just concluded an initial round of indirect talks mediated by Oman. But despite some hopeful statements issued by either side, it is very clear Iran is not willing to negotiate its ballistic missile program. A sticking point being demanded by Washington. And that's the thing. It's like you can't just go around demanding things like you used to, because these nations, they have capabilities just as well. You know, they ready to go at it just as you are. And once again, that's the Lord controlling the minds of the kings. All right, spoken about in Proverbs. You know, he controlling the minds of the kings, swaying them whichever way he wants them to go, so he can get the end result. All right, which will be ultimately a third world war. You know, but there's things that have to happen before that. All right, MOTB. You know, but the thing is, that's even coming up more and more and becoming more undeniable that that is the mark of the beast, man. That the RFID hip is the mark of the beast. Okay. It says the second round is expected in the coming days unless military action ensues first. And this is the thing. Most people are just lollygagging through life. Uh, just, you know, like they got all the time in the world, man. All right. Now, it could be this year, it could be next year, or whatever. But this world is becoming more and more dark. You know, it's becoming more and more dark, man. All right, as it should, as it's written. Okay. So getting into Matthew 24:6, it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And that's what it is. The end is not yet. You're gonna hear about these things. You know, we didn't. Israel been bothering the Stinians, you know, for going on what, like 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, or a year and a half or so. So it's like the end is not yet, you know. So it don't celebrate too early, pretty much. All right, but this is Esau and his dealings. Uh, yep. So let me grab this real quick. Which one is it? Because they had made a bold statement in here somewhere. Yeah, here you go. It says, I think this is the one. Yep. It says, as far as the operational context during this, under the status, it says in service with upgrades planned to keep the fleet operational through 2070 to 2075. These guys are way ahead of the curve. They already thinking about never falling, never being judged. The Most High forgetting they past. You know, they trying to erase slavery. Like, nah, the Lord got all of that embedded. The angels wrote it down. Ain't no losing those records. You know, they got all of those records. All right, don't even worry. You going that tab gonna get slapped on your table eventually. All right. Um, he said that the one. Yep, Psalms 49:11. It says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They're already thinking 40, what was that? They said they already 50 years ahead, you know, 40 to 50 years ahead, thinking in the future, talking about upgrades and all of that. You know, even be making their weapons and their little toys even better, even more war ready. Not understanding the tables are turning, bro. You can sit down in the dust, you know, get your crown dirty, break your scepter, all of that. Because the Lord is coming to judge you. All right, he's on his way. You know? Um, okay. Let me get this last precept. Yep. This is Jeremiah 49:16. It says, "Thy terribleness hath deceived thee." Let's see what that terribleness is. You know, got the Hebrew word, the Paul to Zath, uh, uh, Tazath, I believe. You know, it says shuddering or horror, Salakia. Goes back to tremble. What is shudder? Tremble convulsively, typically as a result of fear. Okay, kind. Let's see the NLT. It says, "You have been deceived by the fear you inspire." Okay, I thought it was going about that route, about that way. You know. Yep. Yeah. Okay, it says thy terribleness. So, yep, what he caused, how he, made people tremble and fear him and his ways, and how he was able to be the bully, before the nations was able to ask him that special question: "Has thou become weak as we?" You know. It says, "Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill," because he's on top of all the nations. You know, starting with the J double O's predominantly. All right. It says, "Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence," said the Most High, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. So he can never build high enough. He can never be high enough to get away from the judgment of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man. So just a quick little video over the wars and rumors of wars. And, there'll be more uh, uh, um, articles coming out because we at the end of this. So it's just a matter of time before the clock hits zero. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you was edified, and Lord willing, we allowed to endure unto the end. Once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.